hello, good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you are. This is Saka of Gomez Foods, and today I'm going to show you how to make samosa. So come along as I show you the ingredients that you need for you to make samosa. Come along. So I have a sieve which I'm going to use to sieve the flour, and I have flour. This is regular bread flour, not cake flour. This is bread flour. And I'll need water, so I have water. And I'll need cooking oil. I have cooking oil. I'll need salt. Here's my salt. This is the cup that I'm using for measuring. It is not a graduated cup. This is my spatula which I'm going to be using for stirring. So I'm going to measure 3 cups, big cups of mine, because I have a specific number of samosas that I want to make today. So that's 2. So maybe I'm going to do 2.5. No, it should be the same 3. 3 cups of flour, and I'll need salt. So I'm going to put a teaspoon of salt. We are putting salt for flavor. We don't want the samosa to be bland. So there is my salt. So I'm just going to sieve this. I'm going to sieve this so that the salt gets incorporated into the flour. So my sieve is not doing the job very well. Maybe it's too full, so I'm going to take off some so that I can sieve well. Yeah, that's better. Good. So we are sieving because we don't want to have anything that can injure someone. Stones, we don't want stones, and sometimes if the flour is the flour has stayed for too long, it may also have some maggots inside it, so we don't want that. And we can also have some foreign matter. We don't want that into our samosa, so that's why we are sieving the flour. Right. Okay, so now we've sieved the flour. We get this out of the way. It's time for the other ingredients. So the next thing that I'm going to put into the samosa is about a tablespoon of cooking oil. We are putting a tablespoon of cooking oil, and I'm going to mix that. A tablespoon of cooking oil, and mix until it is well incorporated. We are putting the tablespoon of oil because we want our dough to be softer. We don't want it to be hard. So the oil is optional. You can decide not to put it in. We can decide not to put it in at all. So as I'm saying, it is optional, but I prefer to put it in because it makes the dough softer, the chapati softer than the one that you put in the cooking oil. Okay. Next is, now I'm going to start mixing. I need to make the dough. So I'll put water. I'll put water into there. Until we form a soft dough. Until we form a soft dough. Yeah. So I'm going in with my hands because they give me a feeling of how well mixed it is, if it is too wet or not too wet. We don't want a dough that is too wet. We want a dough that is not wet, not too wet, and not too dry. We want that when we are mixing, it should not stick to the hands too much. So you can see now it is sticking to my hands, but I still have a bit of flour in my mixing bowl. So I will knead it so that it is well incorporated into there. Okay, so after incorporating, it looks like I still have some flour at the bottom, so I put just a little bit of water to get it off. Okay, yeah. So we are done with the incorporating. Now you can see that the dough is chunky. Right, this dough is chunky. We don't want it to be this chunky. What we want to see is we want to have the dough that is smooth. So I'm going to remove my dough from the mixing bowl and put it on the shelf where I'll be sprinkling flour. I reserved some, so I'll put some flour there, and then we're going to work. We have to work the dough until it is smooth. So start kneading. Make sure that you don't put too much flour on the surface, because as I said, we don't want the dough to be too dry. Okay, give it a good stretch, so the motion is stretch and pull, stretch and pull, stretch and pull, like that, until we see that the dough is no longer chunky. So how will we know if the dough is ready? The dough is ready when it stops sticking to your hands. So right now it looks like we're getting there. Just a tiny bit of kneading. So if you have a mixer that can mix heavy doughs, then you don't have to do this by hand. You can do it in the mixer. It will be much easier for you. Okay, so it's no longer sticking to my hands, and it's not as chunky as we started. It's getting smoother. So yeah, so that's how the dough looks now. Look, it's now very smooth. There is the dough. When I do that, it springs back. Okay, so that's where we want to get. Smooth dough done. Ready for the next step.
My screen is